welcome to our YouTube channel with another weekend for our weekly analysis where we talk about what I expect of the market the previous week and what actually comes to fruition. So today is 8th of June 2025. The analysis for today will be what I'll be using in viewing the market from on the 9th till on the 13th of June 2025. So without wasting much of our time, let's dive into today's activities. We're starting with our dollar index, the normal routine. Last week I was interested in making my decision around 98,500. That if the market stays above 98,500, I'll be interested in visiting 99.575 and the market going into 100 and 100 500. So the market price is still hovering above 98,500. That means I'm sticking with the same bias of visiting 100 and 100 above. That is that I'll be sticking with the previous week's bias on that. Then we go to our GBP USD. GBP USD last week and the week before, I was sticking to the previous week's bias. The previous week bias, which I was interested in the market price reacting around 1.34 thousand and taking us above into 1.38 thousand and above. So the market has seen 138 1.138 thousand 1.138 thousand. Even we've seen uh, euro, this is euro USD, and GBP USD, which is our cable. I was interested in making my decision around 1.34 thousand. If the market price stays above 1.34 thousand, then I will be interested in going into 1.38 thousand 1.38 thousand, and I think we have not seen 1.38 thousand, but the market is still above 1.34 thousand. So the high of this candle comes in at 1.36168. So we are still above that level. This high has been taken. So as long as the market price stays above 1.34 thousand, above 1.34 thousand, I'll be interested in this 1.38 thousand here. 1.38 thousand, 1.38 thousand here. So we should see 1.37 thousand or 1.38 thousand. So as long as the market price stays above 1.34 thousand. So the lowest hanging fruit on fiber at on fiber will be 1.37 thousand. The lowest hanging fruit will be 1.37 thousand. We are still within the previous week's bias perimeter, 1.37 thousand to 1.38 thousand. As long as the market price stays above 1.34 thousand. Then we go to our Euro US, which is our fiber. On fiber last week also, we are looking at the previous week's buyers, making a decision around 1.12757, and we should be able to see 1.14300. 1.14300 has been taken. We've been able to see our movement, the market's movement into the eye of this candle. The eye of this candle comes at 1.14951. 1.14951. So 1.14300 has been delivered, and we have been able to see above it. So the coming week, this high will be the next target. The high of this candle that comes in, though we have some important events coming on next week, but better still, the high of this candle that comes at 1.15733. That was the high. So that will be low. That will be the lowest hanging fruit on Euro USD. 1.15733. So the lowest hanging fruit will be that previous week high. This high here will be the lowest hanging fruit as long as the market price stays above 1.12757. That is that. Then we go to our S&P 500. S&P 500, I'm sticking with the previous week's buyers as well. That says I'll be watching from 56.94 to 6,000. So as we already have it, we have visited six. We have visited the six. So we've moved from 56.94 up to the six, which is the 6,000. From 56.94 to the 6,000. So we have the 6,000 being taken already because the high of this candle was to the tick 6,616. That was it. That was it. So what's next? How else will I be watching the market now from this point onward? As long as the market stays above the consequent encroachment of this shaded area here, as long as the 58, let's say 58,500. Let me say 58.50. Sorry, 58.50 or 58.55. So as long as the market stays above 68.55, 58.55, that means 58.55 should serve as a support to the price. 58.55 should serve as a support to the price, and we should be able to see this high being raided. We should be able to see 6,100. The lowest hanging fruits, 6,100 at yes, 6,100, my bad, 6,100, that is 6,100. So the lowest hanging fruit is 61,100, or a movement into this imbalance here. Let me zoom it. Movement into this CB here, this CB here. So that falls around 6,100. So the lowest hanging fruit, I'll be expecting 58.55 to serve as a support to the price. That will take us into 6,100. Then we should be able to reach that high. Then we go to our Dow futures. Dow futures last week, I was interested in the market price finding its way. I'm deciding around 41,500, and the market price will find its way into 42,900 and 43, if I'm not mistaken, 43,000. Yeah, 43,000. So as long as the market price stays above 41,500, we should be able to see 42,900 and possible movement to 43,000. So at the end of the week, the high of this candle comes in at 42,900 on the dot. 42,900 on the dot. 42,900.10. So that means I'm expecting that level to be rated. We should be able to see 43. We should be able to see 43 as the minimum. We should be able to see 43. And if we should spike above 43, then I'll be expecting this high, this high will be the next. 44,000 will be the next level I'll be watching. So as long as the market price stays above 41,500 on Dow future, 41,500, the lowest hanging fruit, is 43,000 up to 44,000 on the long run. So then we go to our Nasdaq. Nasdaq last week I was interested in the 21,900. I think 21,500 to 21,900. As long as the market price stays above 21,200, as long as the market price stays above 21,200, then I should be able to see 21,500 and 21,900. If possible, we should be able to see 22,000. So at the end of the week, we're able to see 21,800. 21, the high of this candle comes in at 21,889. 21,889. So 21,900 was short of some movement. So all the same, we'll be watching 22,000. The coming week I'll be interested in this high being rated. That is 21, around 21, around 22,200 or so. 22,200. So 21,900 has been taken already. Let me put it that way. So I'll be watching 22,000. That is as long as the market price stays above 21,000. Then we should go to the gold. I don't want the video to be lengthy. Last week I was interested in 3,200. If 3,200 serves as a resistance to the price, then we should see 31,200. But if the market price found support around 3,200, then we should see 34. So 32,200 was what I was watching. So 32,200 was what I was watching. The eye of this candle comes in as what? 3403. 3403. So it was unable to be delivered. We couldn't see 34, which is the eye somewhere here, which is the eye of this candle here. The market price repels from there. So 3,200 still remain my what is it called, my last point of defense on gold. But what I'm watching presently now, I'm watching this BC here, this buy side imbalance and side inefficiency. As long as the market price stays above the consequence encroachment of that level, we should be able to see a movement back into 34, at worst into 3,400, at worst into 3,400, the lowest hanging fruit. Because if this other block should play its role, then we should be able to see that movement. So all the same, I'll be watching the consequent encroachment of this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, for me to decide, for me to make my decision. So I'll be watching the consequent encroachment of the BC, then we should be able to see 3,400 at the barest minimum. But the moment the BC gives way and it started dropping down, then I'll change the narrative, how I view the market. Now to the last but not the least, which is the BTC. BTC last week I was interested in 1,108,000, sorry, 108,000 should serve as a resistance to the price that will take us into 102. That will take us into the 102 level. So should be able to see 102 and possible movement into 100. So we've seen 100 was so close. Yeah, 100 was so close. We've seen 100. The low of this candle comes in at 100,384. Yeah. So 100 was so close. We've seen 102 being taken. But as it is presently, I will be watching and make a decision around 108,000. 108,000 and the, what is it called? And the shaded area here. So what I will be watching, if the market price found its way and stays above the consequent encroachment of this yellow box. The consequent encroachment is the midpoint, is the middle of that box. So if it stays there, then we should be able to see 108,000 again. But if it leaves there, we should be able to see BTC dropping below 100,000. That is it. There is no two ways about it. So at this junction, I'm calling it a day because the BTC stays up between 108,000 and 100,000 below. If the consequent encroachment of the shaded area decides. So at this junction, I will call it a day. Thank you for coming this one with us. Thank you for being part of the family. We really love and appreciate you all. A quick disclaimer before I leave: I am not a licensed financial advisor. The fact that I put my money behind it doesn't mean you should do the same thing. Trading the forex market comes with a lot of risk, and you should know your risk appetite before venturing into the foreign exchange market. The social media today has portrayed the forex industry as a get rich quick scheme, which I'm telling you it is not. The forex market is the hardest place to get free money. So if you misbehave, you get burnt. But one thing is sure, it is not a get rich quick scheme, but it is a must get rich scheme if you don't give up and you know your way through the market. Thank you once again. Have a lovely week ahead. Trade responsibly. Bye for now.